And welcome back. This is Baller Scuba with more Radical Dreamers. When we last left off, we completed scenario number 2, Major caught between love and adventure. Today we're going to go for scenario number 3. Just like last time, that does mean we are going to be starting from the beginning. I will be skipping anything that we have seen twice before, so if there is something new this time, I will read it. Or at least something that we didn't see twice already. We're going to continue going for fast speed because a lot of this we have seen before now. But this particular scenario will move ahead quite quickly to something new. Once we essentially get to the first decision, it will be new. So we're back outside and we're ready to make our first decision. However, while walking behind Kid, I can't help but notice her ponytail endlessly swishing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm hypnotized by it, you could say. I'm starting to get sleepy. So sleepy. So we have the option, we can sleep or we can't fall asleep. Not now. We're going to go with can't fall asleep because we want something different this time. It's too dangerous to fall asleep now. I keep telling myself over and over. Kid had a name for this sort of thing, but I can't seem to remember it at the moment. Man, that was close. Shaking my head, I try to stay alert. Still, all this is really something. Walking through a forest like this on a night like tonight reminds me so much of the first time I bumped into her. It's been something like 3 years since Kid and I met. Back then, I was a drifter, wandering wherever my music led me. During my stay in the remote town of Regiora, I ended up running into a girl who later joined me, leading to the beginning of all this. That girl was Kid. Kid is a thief, of course. Not even 17 years old. She's already widely renowned as a top professional. To make matters worse, she's cute, devilishly stylish, and has a sparkling personality. And boy, can she cook, if you ask her, that is. Well, to be completely honest, she has her share of problems as well. She likes to think of herself as a kind of Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. But that's just not the case. At times her sharp tongue can get the best of her, viciously lashing out at anyone who stands in her way. She exaggerates every other word and sometimes lies outright. And as for listening to other people, well, forget it. When it comes to money, well, I've never met anyone greedier in my life. Her relentless pursuit of wealth is ironic considering she's a nomad like me. I don't know, maybe I'm being too hard on her. She has her good points too. She can really shine sometimes when she wants to. Glancing back over my shoulder, I notice a silhouette silently emerge from the grove. Major. This associate of Kid's is known to us only as Major of the Shadows. I know next to nothing about him except for the fact that he somehow knew Kid before I came into the picture. Well, we know no more about him now, but I'm going to only go with the first scenario being true. A high-class magician of some sort. He looks to be about 30. He usually keeps to himself, though. The top half of his face is covered with a mask at all times. I've never even seen what he really looks like. At times, it seems as though I'm hanging around someone from another world. Traveling with this pack is definitely an interesting experience. See, now, hanging around someone from another world is an interesting line in this game, I would say. Kid's quiet about her past too, but it's like I know her entire life story compared to how little I know about Major. From time to time, I find myself wondering who he is, where he came from, and so on. I ask Kid, but I get the impression she knows as little about him as I do. You might be wondering, how did I end up where I am now? Well, there's a lot of reasons, I suppose. We're going to be doing this 3 times, so let's just go in order here. The other 2 honestly don't really make sense to me, but we'll see what they mean later on. We'll just go with, I guess you could say that life doesn't always go how you plan. I don't think it matters what I say here, but it will change the description, I bet. My life definitely hasn't turned out the way I thought it would. Not that it's been a terribly bad life, at least not so far, but still. Remembering back to when Kid and I first met, my face breaks into a wry smile. Hey mate, what's with the funny face all of a sudden? Oh, nothing. I was just thinking of how strange life is. Life? What are you thinking about all that for? You sure you're not turning into some kind of pansy or something, are you, Serge? She says over her shoulder before rushing on ahead. Hey, what's that bright flash over there? Kid suddenly asks, pointing towards a thicket in front of us. Huh? I don't see anything. I look around closely, but all I see is a bunch of trees and rocks extending on into the darkness. It was a bright flash. It was right over there, I tell you. So we have 2 options here. We are going to go check it out. I walk over beside Kid, trying to see whatever it was she saw. Majel approaches as well a moment later. We are already fairly deep into Lord Lynx's territory, he says. It's dangerous to start blindly wandering around. You are aware of that fact, are you not? However, Kid doesn't budge an inch, keeping her eyes on the bush. Do you feel something here? Really, you're not helping any. Majel asks, changing his expression a moment later. Kid's eyes meet Majel's for a moment, but before long she returns her focus to the forest. So be it, he finally says. If we are intended to stray from the path, this may prove to be worth something in its own regard. Indeed it is! But before Majel even finishes speaking, Kid bolts, disappearing into the trees. Hey, wait up! Be careful, Serge. Foul things lie down this path. Nodding, I cautiously start to make my way through the trees. Much to my surprise, we're able to find it right away. It turns out to be a beautiful beetle, colored solid gold, perched on a high tree limb. The golden beetle, Kid cries out, climbing up the large tree. The beetle certainly glitters like real gold. Kid seems quite caught up in the sight. No, not caught up in the sight, rather. Caught up in greed, I should say. Man, she's fast. She's already climbed up about 5 or 6 times my height, heavily baited with hopes of gold. Aha! Kid catches it, but almost instantly the beetle shakes free, buzzing out of her hand. Wait, she yells, reaching out her hand further and further, hoping to catch the golden insect. But suddenly, she loses balance and falls. All right, try to catch her. Hold on, I yell, leaping forward. But then she begins to curl herself into a small ball, spinning around in midair like a cannonball. Cannonballs spin, apparently. This is bad. She'll knock the both of us out if I have to catch her like that. Seeing this, I jump out of the way, fearing for my life. However, Kid opens herself up mere feet from the ground, gracefully landing as nimble as a cat. She doesn't seem hurt in the least. If I hadn't run, she probably would have landed flat on my face. Kid. Wait, my beetle, she yells, continuing to chase after it without even acknowledging us. Relentlessly chasing the beetle, she plunges deeper and deeper into the forest. We follow after, desperately trying to keep her in sight. For all I know, it could be the golden beetle or just another common insect. However, we're so deep in the forest now, I can't see anything but an endless assortment of dark trees and jagged rocks stretching out in every direction. I doubt Kid herself can even see the beetle at this point. How could she still be tracking it? As soon as I start to ask myself this, I realize what she'd tell me. Intuition. Suddenly, Kid stops in a clearing. Did you find it? Nah, I found something gold, but it ain't the golden beetle. I look over Kid's shoulder. There in a small spot of light stands a tall golden plant. My first impression is that it's a sunflower, but those don't usually bloom at night, do they? What is this thing? Jeez, you're as thick as ever. There's something special about this thing. Can't you feel it? I close my eyes, trying to get one of those feelings she's always talking about. Alright, concentrate. I close my eyes, trying to concentrate. So, do you feel anything? Well, I feel a little tired. Not that kind of feeling, you dummy, she says angrily, slapping me upside the head. I have to admit, I haven't had much experience being intuitive, especially while being beaten up. I try to wonder what she can possibly be feeling all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. I walk around the enormous plant, taking another look at it. But then, suddenly... What the... What? A face suddenly emerges in the center of the flower. It's a ghastly sight, complete with drunken, drowsy eyes, purple eyelashes, thick pink lips, and a long, bent nose. A cross-dressing sunflower. Now I've seen it all. What is it, Majel? Apparently unfazed by the strange sight, Majel calmly starts to rack his brain. What is this sort of thing called? He says as he strokes his chin, going into a sort of quiet trance. Sure hope you remember soon. That's Majel for you, though. He's got a head full of knowledge, wiser than most I've ever met. However, it takes him a good bit of time to remember certain things, and until he remembers, he'll remain completely useless. He's led us into danger a few times because of that. Ah, that's great. Bonsoir, mademoiselle. Wait, it can talk too? Madam, what? Kid asks, smirking. Ah, ma chérie. I was just sneaking a peek at your petite breast. What? I hope that you are not angry. Ho, 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 ho. Wow. They even did like the French stereotypical laugh. Wow. And that's not how you type the cherry with the whatever. What? Get your eyes off of me! Oh, my sweet mademoiselle, how young and feisty you are. The sunflower answers back playfully. You perverted freak of nature, watch what you say around me, Kid says as she flashes her dagger dangling down at her side. It's a plant, it shouldn't be able to move. Kid's squaring off with a sunflower. Now I've seen it all. Ah, my darling, perhaps you and I can converse somewhere a bit more private. Suddenly, Kid whips out her dagger, slashing clean through the sunflower's stalk. Who didn't see that coming? Yeah! Its blaring screech is as excruciating to hear as 100 hands simultaneously scratching down a chalkboard. I think I conveyed it well. I feel faint. My knees are going to buckle if I hear any more of that deafening screech. But then, suddenly, no, you must not be so violent, my sweet-chested fee. Fee? No, wait. My fee. Yeah, it's just fee. That tickles. It's been a while for French for me. You'll have to forgive me. I did take it in high school, though. Somehow another sunflower has instantly sprouted and replaced the one that was cut down, perfectly identical to its predecessor. Bastard, Kid shouts, slashing her dagger through the air once again. Yeah. Oh, could you stop that? More and more of that awful screech fills the air. But then, moments later, no. I am not yet married. But if you insist... Oh, stop it. Why? Why? Kid continues hacking away, tearing down every new sunflower that pops up. However, for every one she mows down, 2 or 3 instantly sprout up in its place. It's the Hydra sunflower. All this screeching, I can't take it any longer. Stop, Kid, please. Try to stop her, get Majel to do something. We'll try to stop her ourselves. Stop, Kid, I shout, trying to intervene. However, she heatedly shoves me aside, becoming more and more infuriated as she hacks through the never-ending crop of flowers. Try again. Kid, come on, I shout, trying to shake her, but she only shrugs me off as she continues to whack away at the sunflowers, getting more and more infuriated. Ma chérie, why must you shake your puny little sword at moi? We do not need such love games with the sweet feelings we have for each other. There is no use for la violence, n'est-ce pas? N'est-ce pas? N'est-ce pas? I think that's right. N'est-ce pas? Wait. Forget it. Like I said, it's been a long time for me for French. Kid's face turns redder and redder as she buries herself further into the sunflower patch. I apologize to my French fans out there, or my Canadian fans. It's like I said, it's been a long time. They didn't teach me very well. I remember now. Majel says, finally snapping out of it. This is what they call a Mandora monster. Please do not make the mistake of trying to cut it down. Majel? I point to the humongous crop of sunflowers where Kid has now resorted to gripping one of the sunflower stalks and shaking it with both hands. However, the sunflower does nothing but laugh down at her. Suddenly, all around us, the ground starts to tremble and quake. Dirt loosens as the ground gives way, creating a sort of quicksand beneath our feet. I leap back instantly, but I then realize Kid's still in the thick of it, ignoring everything except the sunflowers. Kid, I yell, but it's too late. She's caught up in the entanglement of stalks. After a moment, she slips and falls on the unstable ground, getting swallowed up into the newly formed pit beneath her. I try to go after her, but just as I approach the patch, a great number of plants and vines quickly shoot up around Kid, blocking me. Then suddenly a mess of vines leap out at me, trying to wrap themselves around my arms and legs. However, I feel a set of strong arms take hold of me and jerk me back almost immediately. Thanks, Majel. There's no time to lose. Run. But Kid! I know. Running up onto a nearby hill, I stop for a moment and look back. The whole mess is nothing but a billowing cloud of dust now. All I can make out are a multitude of vines waving crazily in the air. I can neither see nor hear Kid. Let's try to go back in and get her. As soon as I try to make a run for the dusty mess, Majel reaches out with his large hands, restraining me. We must wait for the dust to settle. It's useless to try and find her now. He's right. It's way too crazy in there now. I try to remind myself that the only reason I want to do something is out of shock. I need to relax.